Hi, I'm Simon Canton, and this is my very spoilery review of Rebel Yell by Garrett Robinson. So I did another review where I don't spoil anything, or I just give the setup. I don't spoil any of the things that happen in the book. This is not that. This is very spoilery. I'm going to give away everything. So go and watch that if you haven't read the book, and then read the book, and then come back to this. So as long as everyone's gone, then I'll get into it. So I read this book as a beta reader first, and then as I read the full published book after. And the fatal flaw that I talked about in my spoiler-free review is that everyone can see that Steve's going to get screwed. I can't, anyone who reads this book is going to go, yeah, you're getting screwed. It's signposted very clearly, you are going to get screwed, in big flashing letters the whole way through. Anyone who has any sense, who knows anything about publishing or music industry or anything, knows he's going to get screwed. So the fact that no one in this book points out the fact that he's going to get screwed, kind of, the first time, it's difficult for me because I beta read it not too long ago. The previous version wasn't as good. I'll put it that way. The published version is way better. But I thought that there should have been a much more radical change to the end, because the ending is just too obvious. It's too, you're going to get screwed, you're going to get screwed, you're going to get screwed. Oh, look, you got screwed. Oh, you're surprised? No one should have been surprised. Anyone who was in on it, Tanya is the smartest person probably in the band, and she's in on the whole thing, and she knows, she's up on the indie music industry, she's up on the traditional music industry. She know that traditional guys get screwed every day, so she'd have said, hey Steve, don't ever show our music over there, and make sure your contract is okay, maybe show it to a lawyer, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of a major thing for me, because I just didn't see how he wouldn't see it coming, especially in the published version. In the published version of the book, Haley's working on his songs with him the whole time. The other thing as well is that after the twist, they go crazy because they want to get their songs back, and it's songs they've worked on for years. But Steve has now trained with Haley and shown that he can write a couple of songs a day that are pretty decent. So it's a week's work. I was I was thinking that another change could have been that Steve rings up Tanya and Lincoln and Chuck a week after they've had the blowout that Haley's stolen the songs, and goes, legally we can't do anything. But see, the thing, to go back to the twist again, I'm going to flog a dead horse here. So they have a YouTube video of them performing the songs a week or two before Haley performs the songs. So what? So, like I said, all the music label has to do is come out and say, Steve is a novice musician who Haley has taken under his wing, and under her wing rather, and has been treating him as kind of an apprentice. And while she was doing that, because he was having trouble writing songs, she showed him the new songs from the album. Steve then invited Haley to the bar, and you can imagine her shock when she saw him performing her songs and taking her applause when these are new songs and they're meant to be secret. So we're shocked and chagrined that Steve is such an amateur, and we think he's terrible to have stolen Hunger Strike's songs before they were due to be released. Shame on you, Steve. So they say that. That's it. Like, Steve is done. His band is done. He's never going to make another song ever. Like, all they had to do was threaten him with that, and that's it. He's gone. So, because no one's going to believe some rank amateur who's played like 2 gigs is the author of those songs. So, they've got nothing to worry about. That they sidestep that in a second. They're legally covered. They're PR-wise covered. The record label has no way to lose out of that. So the YouTube video saying these songs are stolen is a 2-second PR sidestep. It wouldn't be a big deal at all. So that kind of meant that the last few chapters I didn't really buy, because a better way would have been the music. Like, Steve realizes that no matter what, he's screwed, but he now knows how to write songs, so he goes and writes some songs. Then he rings up Tanya, Chuck and Lincoln and says, guys, I screwed up, it's terrible, I know, blah blah blah, but I'd like you to come to the clubs, which is the bar they drink in. And then he gets up on stage and he performs all the songs he's written that week. And like, it doesn't have to be an entire album, but it could be a few songs. And he goes, I know I screwed up, but this is the kind of thing we can do now after this experience. And the band kind of go, yeah, they forgive him and say, you're an idiot or something, and we're never going near the traditional music industry again. Which, you know, that's an alternative at least. I don't know, like, the other alternative I thought of was that Haley, towards the end of the book, is realizing that what she's doing isn't, it's ripping people off. But if she realizes that and does it anyway, yeah, we're in the spoiler zone, so I'll go into it. So she kills herself or tries to kill herself because she's regretting the fact that she's a vulture or a leech or whatever on the music industry. But she saw that coming before she did it. There's no reason, like, it just makes no sense for her to go on stage. And I'm guessing that there's something happened between her and Lenny behind the scenes that Garrett, as the author, knows, but we don't know that. All we see is Haley's going, I'm nice, I'm nice, I'm nice, I'm nice, I'm nice. Oh, screw you, I'm killing your career, blah, blah, blah. It's just too much of a change. Like, it's just, like, she was having a kind of epiphany through knowing Steve. So, with all that being said, this is the last 4 chapters maybe after the twist. So I didn't buy any of that. But the first 32 chapters, I was sold 100%. Like, I love that. The book is so good. Like, as I've mentioned on my review, I think it's close to being a classic. And for anyone who can forgive that twist, and like Garrett was saying to me on the beta, that I was the only person that got as worked up about the twist, so maybe I'm just a maniac. But like, if you can forgive that, the fact that the twist is really, really obvious, then it's an amazing book, in my opinion. Especially for anyone who's an aspiring or a current artist. I think if you're any kind of author or musician or artist or whatever, then you should read this book. It should be not required reading, but recommended reading. My brother is a musician. He's in a band. David Canton. I'm going to be sending I got 2 copies of this book because I'm subscribed to Patreon and I did the beta reading, so I got 2 copies. And I was thinking of giving away one of them on this vlog. However, Garrett is giving away Rebel Yell as part of his mailing list anyway. And if you're not on Garrett's mailing list, and if you haven't read Garrett's books, then you should be. And this is definitely a great one to start with. So I would recommend instead signing up to his mailing list, which I'll give a link in the description. And instead I'm going to be sending this to my brother, the musician, because I think he should read it. Not that he's not going to fall for any traditional publisher idiot things. He is far more savvy than I am. But I just think that it's such a great book that he should read it. So that's what I'm going to do with my extra copy. So it's such a strange thing because I mentioned, I think, before that if this was an unknown author, this was the first book. Like, say Garrett wrote this under a pseudonym, and instead of him publishing it under his name, he published it under Joe Blogs, and then recommended it, and I'd read it. I would say, oh my God, this guy, he's going to be one of the biggest literary stars once he works out the little kinks. It's just such a different take from Garrett, and such a different level. It's like a high gear for Garrett, that I was just really impressed. I can't wait to see what Garrett does next, to be honest, because he just keeps improving dramatically, and everything he puts his mind to just works really well. He's done such a wide array of things, and some of them I haven't enjoyed as much, like Non-Zombie I wasn't a big fan of, and the Touch trilogy, but they were written a long time ago for him at this stage. He's published 1 million words or something since then. He's just going from strength to strength, and I cannot see how he's not going to be one of the best known authors in the world. Maybe that's just me being biased because I know him, or that I got in on the ground floor or whatever. But his writing's just amazing. And if you go from Nightblade, which I'm currently reading, I've kind of paused to read Rebel Yell, to Rebel Yell, they're written in a different style, and they're both written completely competently. So I give Rebel Yell 5 stars. I kind of wish that I had a better rating system, because the star rating system is seriously lacking, I think, when it comes to this kind of thing, where you've got a book that's way better than most books on the market, at least for me, as subjectively as a reader, way better than most books, but just has one thing wrong with it, that you're kind of going, okay, it'd be unfair to give this 4 stars just because of one flaw, because without that flaw it'd be 6 stars. I don't know, something it'd be a perfect book. So the one flaw can't take it down to 4, in my opinion. So it's at 5. Anyway, that's a bit of a rambly thing, but I wanted to get that off my chest, because it's such a strange... usually I read books and they're either all this level, or all this level, or all this level, but to kind of be all this level and then this level. It's just a strange thing. And if Garrett, if you're watching this, my apologies. I know you don't like this kind of harsh stuff. That's the other thing I can mention. I don't mind harsh criticism as much as I've seen other people do mind harsh criticism, so apologies. Take the praise from the video, because Jesus, you're amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.